Hi, I'm back for part two, talking about what I've come to realize was my addiction, or is my addiction, to external approval or validation of whether or not I'm okay based on how I'm looking. So I want to talk about in this second part, kind of get deeper into this idea of always looking to another person to tell us whether or not we are okay. And by okay, I mean, do I belong? Am I lovable? Am I acceptable? Do I fit in? And I think that I was thinking about, what is this seeking approval all about? And it's really about protecting us from the vulnerability of rejection, not belonging, not fitting in. It's really about a constant check-in about whether or not we're vulnerable to judgment that's going to be painful and keep us, on the outside, to always be. For me, it's about feeling like an outsider. So I don't know if anybody else is relating to any of this, and if you are, what it's about for you. But for me, I think there's like a deep fear of being an outsider, not belonging, not fitting in. And as I mentioned in part one, I do believe that a lot of that has to do with where we grow up, who we're around, what the culture is telling us is what we need to look like to belong or fit in. So that's what I think that constant needing approval is all about. It's basically asking somebody, am I okay, right? So this is, as I said in part one, a very exhausting way to live. How we feel about ourselves is going to depend on who we're around in that way, because we're always dependent on somebody else's opinion of us. And so how we feel is going to go up and down. It's going to change. And I also realize that if we can somehow, I think I've spent my, as a kid, I thought, well, when I'm older, I can fix these problems. Like, okay, I got my hair straightened. So, well, once I got my hair straightened, then my anxiety moved to a different part of myself. So, okay, now I fixed that, and now I fit in with that standard of, I'm calling it a standard of beauty. I don't even believe that straight hair is the standard. I just, for everybody, it's just the message that I got from the world around me as I was growing up. I think it's the message a lot of people get, that looking more European and less, for lack of a better word, ethnic, is somehow that's better. The true me doesn't believe that, but these are the messages that got recorded inside of me. And so these tapes keep playing in my mind, right? But anyway, once I fixed that problem, not that it is a problem to be fixed, but that's the story that I had going in my mind. And I think to some degree, I still have that story I'm trying to work through. Anyway, then I became fixated on other parts. My eyebrows. Do my eyebrows meet the standard of beauty? No, they're too this or they're too that. They're not enough this or that. Or it became my fashion or my makeup, or there's always some part that I have been fixated on to try and fix within myself, I think, to feel like I'm okay. So that's exhausting, and I would like to be liberated from that. And I was thinking to myself, what would I do with all that mental energy, like all that, it'd get all freed up if I didn't spend so much of my emotional and mental energy telling myself that something's wrong with me and that it needs to be fixed, and trying to figure out how to fix it, or trying to have other people tell me that I'm okay. What would I do with all of that energy? And I just think it's amazing the contribution that I could make in this world, right? Like, if I focused on how I'm treating other people, or taking care of our planet, or whatever it might be, if I'm not focused on all this worry about whether or not I'm going to be rejected, the peace that I would feel in my life. So I think the way to that is really to, that in part one I talked about this moment that I had where I felt like I'd been fighting against what I look like naturally, and then just kind of feeling, it started off as a moment of defeat, and then it felt empowering, and it was this awareness of, okay, but this is me, this is how I am naturally. And is that even wrong? How can that be wrong if this is how I was made? To stray from that takes a lot of energy, but to just make peace with that and to say, you know what, I don't have to change anything. I'm okay just the way I was born, just the way I was made, that's okay. I think that is, for me, going to be the way through, is not trying to be different from, like, not putting so much energy into trying to fix things anymore, to just find the beauty in what I was given by nature, God, life, whatever you want to call the force that makes us, right? To just trust that I was made just the right way, just the way nature intended, and to not put my worth into how I'm looking, but more into how I'm treating people, more into like the love that I can bring into this world. I know that sounds really like a hippie or something, and not that there's anything wrong with hippies, but and it's not that I want to stop looking nice, it's just not trying to look different from not fighting against what I have naturally, and knowing that there's beauty in that, and that beauty is not about necessarily always fitting in with a certain standard, right? That I had this awareness. I was talking with my husband and my son. We were talking about, we had learned that there are, I think, like 120,000 varieties of flies in the world. And I was saying, wow, isn't it amazing how much nature favors or creates diversity in this world? If there are 120,000 varieties of just flies, nature likes diversity. And I thought, oh, that's true about people too. We're all made, you know, we all have our special things that make us special and different. And that's good, that's not bad. We don't all have to look the same and fit in with one definition of what's good, right? So this is probably getting long again, so I'm going to stop it. And if I have more to say, I'll just make a part 3. And I'd love to know your thoughts, feelings, experiences. I'd love to have a conversation with you about this. If it's something that's interesting to you, definitely please, if you feel comfortable, to leave a comment. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Okay. So I may be off to make part 3. If so, I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.